and welcome to Angkor. As you may know, Cambodia is a small country in Southeast Asia, located between Vietnam and Thailand. It has a rich history dating back well before the first millennium. The Angkorian period of Cambodia lasted from the 9th to the 15th centuries, and for most of that time, the capital of the Khmer Empire was at Yasodhanapura, now known as Angkor. Being the seat of the king, Yasodhanapura was not only the governmental, but also the cultural and the physical center of the Khmer Empire, which at its peak stretched from Champa, now Vietnam, north to southern China and as far west as the Andaman Sea. Yasodhanapura was also the largest Khmer city. It has been estimated that at its peak in the 13th century, Angkor's population was nearly 1 million people, much greater than many contemporary cities in Europe, such as London, and comparable in population to that of ancient Rome. Besides Angkor, there were uncounted small villages and many large towns. Just east of Angkor on the old Royal Road were population centers such as Bang Melia and Prayakan of Kampong Savai. West of Angkor and near the present Thai border was a possible provincial capital, which is now known as Banteay Chhmar. Many years ago, I decided to take a bus from Siem Reap to see the ruins of Banteay Chhmar Temple. Because the bus did not go all the way to Banteay Chhmar, it was necessary for me to transfer to a taxi at a town called Sisophon, which is about 2 hours west of Siem Reap, and then go north for about an hour and a half from there. After buying a ticket through my hotel, I took a motorcycle taxi down to the bus stop, which was located in front of a place called the Backpackers Hostel, where I waited for the bus with a lot of other foreigners who were traveling that day. After about an hour, the bus finally showed up, but it came to the wrong place, so we all had to walk down the street to meet it. And when we got there, the bus was full, so we had to wait for a second bus. Finally, we managed to get on the bus and be on our way. Some Cambodian buses that I have been on were very basic and had nothing but hard platforms to sit on. This one had very nice plush seats and was nicely decorated and was air conditioned. The trip went uneventfully, and we all had a good time staring out the window at the scenery passing by. I found the scenery outside the windows particularly interesting, and some of the things that I saw, such as the traditional houses, made me feel like I had been transported back 1,000 years. About halfway to Sisophon, we stopped at a small town called Kralan, where we had a rest stop for about 15 minutes at a place called Senglida. Senglida was your typical roadside stand selling various snacks and sundries. Since we only had 15 minutes, and none of us wanted to be stuck in the middle of nowhere when the bus left. We kept pretty close together. There wasn't much to do at the roadside stand, but we did have a chance to look around a bit. After looking around briefly outside, especially at some very interesting religious statuary, I decided to get some lunch because there was no food service on the bus. I bought some bread at the bread shop, and I got a man to cut a coconut open for me for some coconut juice. So I had a very nice lunch of bread and coconut juice. After I bought my snack at the shop, I went inside for a few minutes before the bus left to look around. While wandering around the shop and looking at its different items, I happened to see on a counter something called a maneki neko, or beckoning cat. In Japan, these maneki nekos are used to attract customers, but I was surprised to see one here in Cambodia. Getting back on the bus, we continued on our way to Sisophon, which was about another hour down the road. I began to get a little concerned about how I would get off the bus and get to the taxi stand, because at the time my Khmer ability was not so good and very few people in the countryside knew English. At the time, also, cell phones and portable translators were uncommon.
CBT translator who showed up, but I'm not going to ride with him because he's got another ride. The driver tells me it's about an hour and a half by taxi to Banteay Chhmar. About $30. It's probably a good idea because it's really hot and dusty, so I don't think a moto is a good idea. It's really dusty. It's a good thing I took a taxi instead of a moto. Really dusty.
Farther along the road, the houses disappeared and the terrain became more desolate looking. The empty landscape reminded me of another temple site which I have visited, called Kolkare. The first indication I had of my arrival at Banteay Chhmar Temple was a small sign next to the road with a couple of Devata figures on it. Rounding the corner, I saw the south section of the temple moat, and though I could not see the temple itself, I could see the south Naga balustrade and its causeway. Going down the road around the moat, we passed a small local market. Because there were no commercial buildings anywhere in the area that I could see, I assumed that this was the only place people in the area could come to buy necessities.
Right. Looks like Banteay Chhmar.
The only people that I could see were local people, and I assumed that I was the only visitor there at the time.
Banteay Chhmar?
At the end of my journey to Banteay Chhmar Temple, my driver pulled up outside the Community-Based Tourism Office, or CBT office, which was the park's headquarters. Though I had made a reservation beforehand for someone to meet me at the CBT office, no one was there at all. I was a little surprised when my driver who had brought me to Banteay Chhmar stayed around to make sure I was okay before he left. He called the CBT office and arranged for someone to meet me there, and a few minutes later somebody came and helped me to make a reservation and a homestay, and when my driver was satisfied that I was okay, he finally left. He was a very nice man, and I really appreciate his efforts he made to make sure I was safe. After renting a bicycle at the CBT office and meeting my homestay family, I was ready for the first of my many adventures at Banteay Chhmar. But that is another story. Thanks for watching, and see you next time at Angkor.